Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Saint Lucians, young people of my nation and of the world, thank you for being here today or for watching this rebroadcast. Let me start by being frank. I don't care if you are the president, prime minister, governor, minister, senator, director, or permanent secretary in any country. This is not about titles. This is not about physical borders, nor our governments, nor our institutions. This is about our people. This is about our future. And the only thing that matters right now is that the young people, those who will be forced to fix every setback that you have created, are listening. This is not a time for political diplomacy or for political necessities. This is a time of truth. And the truth is we are failing. Our systems are failing. Our policies are failing. Our young people are watching the world crumble under the weight of crises they did not create but are forced to solve. We live in a world where the Sustainable Development Goals of 2023 promise a better future, a future free from poverty, inequality, and environmental destruction. But let's be honest, we are not on track. Our governments are struggling to generate income and to manage resources. International development agencies only want to shake hands with our government, and despite their best intentions, have turned youth involvement into mere higher levels of youth tokenism, a checkbox to be ticked rather than a force to be reckoned with. In Saint Lucia, like many other countries, we are dealing with monumental challenges: poverty, food insecurity, unemployment, climate change, crime, and social inequalities. These are not just statistics on a page. These are the lived experiences of our people. And it is our young people who bear the brunt of these challenges. We are the ones left to inherit a world that, by all measures, seems to be on the brink of collapse. Yet, I refuse to accept that our fate is sealed. I refuse to believe that our generation is destined to merely survive in a broken system. We are more than that. We are not just the last generation. We are the generation of change. And by the end of 2024, I call on every young person in Saint Lucia, every young person in the Caribbean, and every young person around the world to rise as part of what I call Gen Shift, the generation that decides through action whether our communities rise or fall, the generation that determines through action whether poverty becomes irreversible or is going to be managed for the children as they become youth, and that they earn their seat at the table to carry on the struggle and to finally defeat. This is the final stand for our future. If we don't act, the system that perpetuates our problem will only grow stronger, and the window of change will close forever. But if we act, if we mobilize, if we organize, if we demand our place at the table, we can rewrite the narrative for Saint Lucia and the Caribbean. Look at the global problems that plague our small island. Climate change is threatening our coast, our agriculture, and our way of life. Food insecurity means that too many families go to bed hungry, unsure of where their next meal will come from. Unemployment is robbing our youth of their potential, while economic instability keeps us dependent on foreign aid and loans. Social inequality is leaving our most vulnerable behind: women, children, people with disabilities, and marginalized communities. Crime and violence is a growing symptom of our deeper societal decay, fed by poverty and lack of opportunities. And let's not forget the crumbling education system, one where too many children drop out of school because of simple things like they cannot afford basic necessities like the school feeding program or the lack of our sports programs, once a beacon of hope and now losing its vibrancy. These problems are not unique to Saint Lucia. They are challenges faced by all small island developing states across the Caribbean, and indeed by nations across the world. But the question is, who will fix these problems? And the answer is clear. We will. The youth will. The youth in Saint Lucia will. But we cannot wait for government to solve these problems. We cannot wait for international agencies to swoop in and save us. We must act, and we must act now. Where are the civil society? Where are the organizations? Where are the NGOs? Where are the CBOs? Where are the youth organizations who through their programming take on the underlying factors causing our social ill? But you see, Gen Shift is not just a call for action. It's a movement. It's a commitment that every young person in this nation, in the Caribbean, and by participation and affiliation around the world should make to rise to the occasion and to take control of our future, to create the changes we want to see. And you see, as a young leader, I'm not one to come here and to talk about the problems. On my path as a leader, through my youth organization, Rethink Youth, and my social enterprise Strategy Reloaded, towards the end of this year, we are preparing to launch free youth-led, youth-centered, and youth-driven programs. These programs are not just initiatives. They are building blocks of a new future for Saint Lucia, the Caribbean, and by participation, young people from around the world. A future where young people are not just participants in society, but the drivers of progress. Program number 1, National Capacity and Skill Building for Civil Society. This program will focus on national capacity and skills building for all stakeholders in civil society, the NGOs, the community-based organizations, youth organizations, faith-based organizations, the National Youth Council. Why? Because in the face of these crises we are dealing with, civil society is our only hope. These organizations are the front lines, working directly in the communities most affected by poverty, unemployment, and climate change. And we believe that if every civil society organization in Saint Lucia can function effectively, we will unlock over $1 billion worth of resources to make our communities more resilient. But for this to happen, these organizations need the skills, the resources, the networks to grow their capacity and to deliver results. We are calling all stakeholders, when our program does come around, to join in the boost for the capacity building of civil society so that together we can help restore the basic needs our government is struggling to provide. Program number 2, a social enterprise academy. One of the biggest problems for functioning organizations is access to funding. Everything is voluntary, but then voluntary doesn't necessarily translate to sustainability. So the second program we will launch is designed for organizations that are already established but struggling to sustain themselves. This is not just about their survival. It's about teaching organizations how to thrive in a world where funding is limited and the demand for social impact is growing more than ever. The Academy will provide these organizations with the tools they need to become self-sustaining through innovative business models, strategic partnerships, and social entrepreneurship. So for those emerging from our National Capacity Skills Program, this Academy will help you in the next step towards building a sustainable future within your community. And the third program is an industry strategy consulting for youth entrepreneurs. The third program specifically is tailored for youth who already have registered businesses. The aim is to provide these young entrepreneurs with the skills to analyze their markets, develop competitive strategies, and build for a sustainable future. Through this program, participants will learn how to develop effective strategies, and we are going to do this using core MBA, Masters in Business Administration frameworks and methodologies. And we're going to show you, and we know it's costly to do an MBA. So we're going to use the MBA framework to show you and to help you select methodologies to improve on your profitability. We're going to teach these young participants how to create and enhance their competitive advantage in a rapid changing market. And we're going to teach them how to respond to industry changes and to position themselves for long-term growth. And if our young people can grow their capacity in business and enterprise, we believe that 48% of the underlying problems causing our national security, poverty, and food crises, it can be addressed. And this is not speculation. This is the power of youth in action. But we cannot do all of this alone. And that is where you come in, the investors, the enablers, the funders, the philanthropists, and the development agencies. This is where you come in. We are begging, we are pleading. We need your help. We are calling on you to provide resources, financial capital, technical expertise, training, mentorship, infrastructure support that will allow these programs to thrive. We need funding to launch and scale up our national skills and capacity building program for civil society. We need resources to support our social enterprise academy and help organizations become self-sustaining. We need investment to fuel our industry strategy consulting program and give young entrepreneurs the skills to compete even on a regional and global stage. This is not just an investment in a project, this is an investment in the future of Saint Lucia. And your contribution will help us build the next generation of leaders, innovators, and change makers. You will help us to restore hope and to rebuild communities. And in doing so, you will be part of the greatest shift that this nation and the Caribbean has ever seen. To the youth of Saint Lucia, this is your moment. This is your chance to prove that you are now not just the leaders of tomorrow, but the leaders of today. You have to act. We have to act. We cannot afford to wait for change to come from the top down. The future belongs to us, and we must seize it with both hands. And in 2025, we will redefine what leadership looks like. We will show that transparency, integrity, and accountability are non-negotiable. We will challenge the old guard to step aside and to make room for new voices, new ideas, and new energy. This is the essence of Generation Shift, the last generation that will decide whether we rise or fall. We will not let our communities drift into irreversible poverty. We will not allow the legacy of our nation and our Caribbean to be one of failure. This is our fight. This is our future. And we will win. Thank you.